Okay, so right off the bat, I want to be super clear. This is not financial advice, not at all. Instead, what we're going to do today is give you a powerful framework, a kind of mental toolkit for looking into any crypto project you come across. And to do that, we're taking a real token and putting it right under the microscope, step by step. So every investigation has to start somewhere. Ours kicks off with this claim we found online. It's a pretty bold statement, right? It pits this ancient, reliable asset, gold, against a little-known crypto token called Pulse Zen and promises an exciting future. This is the exact kind of hook that gets people interested and can send them down a deep, deep rabbit hole. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? When you see a claim like this online, how do you, just a curious person, actually figure out what's real? How do you cut through the hype and see what's actually going on with the project? Well, that's the exact process we're going to break down today. All right, first things first. Let's tackle this whole exciting future idea head on. Every investigation needs a starting point, a claim to test. And for us, this promise is it. So our first real move is to get the view from, say, 30,000 feet. Before you dive into the nitty-gritty, you need a map of the territory. In crypto, that map is usually a data aggregator, so we're going to use one to get that big picture bird's eye view of Pulse Zen. According to the aggregator, this is the official story. This is the narrative. Pulse Zen is pitched as this slick platform for all sorts of financial activities. And they throw in all the right buzzwords: security, efficiency, seamless. I mean, on paper, it sounds pretty legit, right? Professional even. This is the story they want you to hear. Okay, and this is where the story starts to get interesting. We put the pitch, the narrative, right next to the hard data. The story promises a seamless platform for users, which you'd think means people are, using it. But the data from the very same source shows a 24-hour trading volume of exactly zero. Zilch. Nada. This is our first major red flag. But hold on, it wasn't always like this. This story has layers. This token wasn't always worth zero. If we look back to December of 2023, it actually hit an all-time high of over 8 cents. So at one point, there was real money, real interest, and real value here. Something clearly happened between then and now. Which, of course, brings us to today. The all-time low is where it's sitting right now, zero. And that journey from 8 cents to absolutely nothing, well, it paints a pretty bleak picture based on just the surface-level data. So yeah, the market data looks grim. But does that mean the project is completely dead? Is there any sign of life happening underneath the surface, on the actual blockchain? To figure that out, we have to go deeper, way deeper than the aggregators. And now it's time to go down the rabbit hole. This means we're leaving the clean, curated world of data websites, and we're heading straight to the ultimate source of truth for any crypto asset, the blockchain explorer. Now, if you're not familiar, a block explorer like Etherscan is basically a search engine for the blockchain. The best way to think about it is like a massive public library. Every single transaction is like a book on the shelf, and it's open for absolutely anyone to read. It's the ultimate tool for checking the facts. And what do we find in this library? Well, what do you know? Despite that zero trading volume, the blockchain shows there is still some life here. We can see these sporadic transfer and approve transactions happening. So this tells us that even if nobody's buying or selling it on exchanges, some wallets are still interacting with this token. The plot thickens. So if people are still poking at this contract, what can that contract itself tell us? It's time for some detective work, time to read the digital tea leaves and look for clues inside the token's smart contract that the big websites completely miss. Okay, check this out. This is another fascinating little detail. We're looking at the contract's own wallet on Etherscan, and it actually holds over $500 worth of USDC, which is a stablecoin pegged to the dollar, so there's actual real-world value just sitting in there. And yet, its own native token, PZEN, is valued at zero. Weird, right? All right, for the final piece of our deep dive, we're going into the source code itself. And don't worry, you absolutely do not need to be a developer for this part. We're not trying to debug code here. We're essentially just treasure hunting for comments, the little notes in plain English that the developer left for other humans to read.
And boom, look what we find written right there in the comments for anyone to see. The token's own rulebook. It's tokenomics. There's a 2% fee on transactions that gets redistributed to holders, a tiny burn and charity fee, and this is a big one, a 0% fee for liquidity. This is a critical detail about how the token works that was mentioned nowhere else.
And you also find these little bits of personality. Like right here, the developer leaves a little note saying the burn address they used is actually the number for the speed of light. It's kind of nerdy, kind of quirky, and a human touch hidden inside all this technical code. It's just a little reminder that real people build these things.
So let's put it all together. On one side, you've got the official story, a seamless platform with an exciting future. And on the other side, you've got the on-chain reality, zero trading volume, a price that has completely collapsed, but still has some weird sporadic activity, all governed by a very specific fee structure that they don't talk about anywhere else. The two stories just don't line up.
And this brings us to the whole point of this exercise. It wasn't to pass some final judgment on Pulse Zen, not at all. It was to show you a repeatable process, a toolkit you can use to look past the promises and see what the code and the data actually say. And here is that toolkit. It's just 5 simple steps. 1. Start with the claim. What's the promise? 2. Check the surface with a data aggregator. 3. Go to the source. Use a block explorer. 4. Read the code, just the comments. And finally, step 5, the most important one, compare what you found and question the differences. This leaves us with one last thought. You know, the really beautiful thing about blockchain technology is its transparency. Everything we found today was just sitting out there in the open, totally free for anyone with an internet connection to see. And in a world that is just flooded with digital promises and exciting futures, maybe the most valuable skill you can have is simply knowing where and how to look.